Hello everyone. We are here to talk about static code analysis for Terraform code using TFSec. Uh, the HCL being there to deploy resources into Azure. So that's the only slide I have. Before we start, let's have a quick look at the festive tech calendar. So I'm going to submit this video to this festive tech calendar 2020, and definitely go and check out festivetechcalendar.com. There are lots of great speakers and great content on there. So yeah, go and have fun. With that note, let's start our uh, code analysis demo. So first of all, I have put the code in this GitHub repo. Just so you know, my camera is here, my screen is on this side, so I'll probably look away a few times. Um, but anyway, so Terraform static code analysis. So what we have got here is the Terraform code, in this case a simple code, and I have got it checked out locally. If we go into the main code, I'll just zoom in a little bit. So this one is a simple Azure IRM resource group storage account and storage share, and I have deliberately made it not secured by saying HTTPS is not enabled by default. So these are the things that a static code analysis should catch for us. And if we go ahead and see the PowerShell script here that run TFSec, that's the one which runs the static code analysis. A bit about TFSec before we start. So this is the GitHub repo of TFSec, and going through the documentation, it has clearly explained what it does and how to start using it. It's very easy to get started with TFSec, as far as I have seen, compared with others like Chekhov or TFScan, Terraform Scan, for example. Compared to them, I found it really easy to get up and running with TFSec within literally 20 minutes, half an hour. And the simplest thing to do is use the Docker, and then we don't have to install TFSec locally. So that's what I've done. Going ahead with it, there is a lot more you can do. Obviously, AWS is one of the big checks that it does. The Azure checks is the one we are going to look at today. And the nice thing about it is that we could actually do something called TFSec action, and that can run TFSec against your whole repo and also show it on your GitHub output with the scan results. That's something for you to explore if you want to do. It's quite simple to do actually. The bit that we are going to see here in the repo that I showed to begin with, that's the repo I have, and feel free to have a look there. I've got a PowerShell file here, and the bit to look at is this. So when we are running locally, it's going to run the Docker image and then just pass in the source folder, which is our main.tf and the vars. So this is what will get passed into the Docker image, where TFSec is going to run the scan against it. Let's try that. So if you see here, so it just ran static analysis and it's saying some errors have happened. For example, here it says enable traffic, HTTPS traffic only is disabled. So essentially this should be true, and that's why it's been highlighted here. Same way it has other errors and warnings it has showed us here. So this is the local run, so if I run it locally. But if I run it in CI, what I've done here, if you notice, is I've got a switch for CI run. So if it is a CI run, it will again run using Docker image, because it's simpler. I don't have to go and fiddle with the CI agent, for example, to do anything. And what I'm doing is I'm saying the format of output is JUnit, and then the out file, essentially creating a results file, which essentially goes to TFSec results.xl, which we can actually run locally if we wanted to, although we would probably not need it. So if we did that, CI run, so if I did that, then it won't give us any output. But if if you see here, it has created the results XML file, and that's the one we're going to use in our CI. Going back to our repo, so there is another GitHub workflow, and it's a simple workflow. All this does is says when to run this on push to main. Main is the branch, or pull request to main. So in two cases, it's going to run. This lets me trigger it locally by hand as well. If I wanted to manually trigger it, I could do it as well. Then all this does is a job called static code analysis on an Ubuntu machine, because we're just running a Docker image. And the steps that it has is, first of all, check out the code, which is this repo, then run tfsec, and that's the PowerShell file we just saw, and that's the CI run parameter that I explained a second ago. So it's essentially running just this one, and it will run the Docker image, whereby creating that this file, the tfsec results file that we looked at. And that tfsec result file is now picked up by publish unit test results. And if always here essentially means, because we know there will be cases, or in this current case, we know that the run tfsec PowerShell script will fail because there are issues with our code. So if always means always is the condition, and under what condition to run this step, and if always run it. So always is always true, so it will just run it all the time. Even if it has failed, this step has to run, and then that has to publish this XML. So let's see this in action. So going into my static analysis repo, go into actions, and here let's just trigger it by hand. It'll probably be better if I can show you one change. So let me just do a quick change to my README in this case, just to trigger. Let's say Happy Christmas here, and I just commit that change in. And yeah, I do use Tortoise Git. That's my favorite Git client at the moment, but I'm trying to figure out what other Git clients out there. Update README. Let's just do that. And once I push those changes, you will see that this will trigger there you go. Update README has just triggered it. So we can go ahead and have a look what it's doing. Oh, that'll go to the commit, wouldn't it? Oh no, it's okay. So in update README, we in the commit, it has triggered the analysis. So we are looking at the static code analysis. That's the name of the job here. So that's what we're looking at here. If I click on that, it should show us what's going on. There you go, it has started. So remember the steps: check out, run, publish, which is these steps. So first is check out, then run tfsec, and then publish the unit test results. That's what it's doing. And checkout is about to finish. It's finished. Now it's running tfsec. And that's essentially running in a Docker image. And if you see here, run tfsec actually failed because that process, the Docker process or the tfsec process, returns null, returns 1 as exit code if there are issues with the scan, with the code analysis. So that's why it returned 1. And then we just publish the results. And once we publish the results, which are in this case, like we saw, a JUnit XML file, it's been published here. And we can see all the issues out here, including the name of the file, the line numbers, and then we can just go ahead and fix it. So I hope this was useful, and feel free to go ahead and check this repo, or tweet at me, tweet me, ask me questions on Twitter if you want to. And thank you very much for watching.